I almost walked right past this. I almost didn't even record this RV because I'm like, all right, it's just the same mid-bunk bonus room thing that everybody builds. I am so glad I popped my head inside. This actually has one of my personal favorite living room and kitchen layouts. Check this thing out. Welcome everybody, Josh the RV Nerd of Bish's RV down here at Grand Design today. They got a whole bunch of stuff set up, and like I said, I almost walked straight past this because I was like, okay, so it's the MBS, it's a mid bunk with a slide or something like that, and I expected there to be a nice mid bunk. This one's kind of interesting in that they did not go with a loft, and there's a lot of people like lofts are absolutely wasted on me. But what I expected was the exact same living room and kitchen that everybody else builds, where you have the rear sofa, the sides like theater seat, the kitchen and the entertainment all on one side. And then I walked in here, and this has that wraparound rear den style, like almost home style sectional sofa set up in this one that personally I absolutely love. To be able to stretch out, like if everybody's stuck inside on a rainy day, to be able to like actually like sit down, stretch out, kick back, and relax, this thing does very, very well. And one of the other things that I like about this style of floor plan is that there's actually enough seating for everybody that it can sleep, because there's a lot of RVs, they have a weird wonky mismatch where it's like, we can sleep 10. Yeah, but you got seating for 4. This doesn't have that problem. I also really like the peninsula style countertop, because if you are the campsite cook, you can be in one spot, easily control that domain, tell the kids and the husband or whoever, get out of here. And but you're not disconnected from everything. It has a very clearly defined kitchen, but like when you are in the kitchen, you're not missing out on the entertainment. Everybody is part of the experience. Now the middle room on this one, it could definitely function as a bit of an office. It doesn't have to be just a middle bunk room. It's a very multifunctional space. And again, not everybody cares for a loft, and by going with the loft, they increase the space between the beds in the middle room greatly. And there's so much more I haven't covered. This is a big RV. There's a lot to cover here, but if you are serious about maybe making a purchase like this, I want to give you all the information I can to help make you a better, more educated consumer. And if you appreciate that, hit that subscribe button and let's get in there. So I don't normally start outside like this. We're heading indoors, but I kind of want to walk you through the experience that I had. Like, I've seen so many big fifth wheels and mid bunks or bonus rooms or whatever manufacturer wants to call them. I first got kind of surprised because I expected to see a camp kitchen there, and there wasn't. Now, we're going to come back to that when we step outside. There's benefits and drawbacks both ways, but I was like, okay, little different there. Let's see what else they have to offer. Well, I stepped inside, and first thing I did is I poked my head over here toward the middle room, and I went, oh, okay. They went with the no loft variation, which allows this slide to be taller, so the space between the bunk in the slide and the sleeper fold-out sofa is a lot greater. Okay, fine. A lot of people don't like lofts anyway. That works great. And then I started looking over here, and this is where my head twisted. And I went, wait a minute. This isn't the living room that is always associated with a middle bunk bonus room. This is like a luxury rear den kind of arrangement that personally I absolutely love. I love this arrangement because if you're the idea here is if you are going to be stuck inside for an extended time, and let's be fair, you're in a Solitude, you're not in a bare bones basic camper, you're going to spend some more time in here checking out the entertainment center. The entertainment is absolutely the focal point of almost the kitchen and the living room, both. Because, obviously from that wraparound, almost residential style sofa, you've got the pop-up power television right here that everybody can enjoy. But when I'm standing over here in the kitchen, where I'm at right now, if I'm hanging out over the top of the theater sections of that lounge right there, I'm not left out. So if something funny happens on TV, if you're watching America's Funniest Videos or something, I don't know, you get the idea. You still get to enjoy the experience. But what's really awesome is, like, the more I started looking through this, like, that's not the cheap pleather that comes on RV seating most of the time. They're using a far more superior upgraded seating covering right there. The colors are light and bright and airy. We've got the biggest windows they could possibly pack into this thing, wrapped all around the campsite of this RV. The campsite viewing in this is absolutely phenomenal. If I sound like I keep getting distracted, it's because there's something I think in this sink that is resonating with my voice. So every now and then when I start talking, I hear very quietly. I don't even know if the camera's picking up on it, like, and I'm like, wait, what? But yeah, that's kind of what's going on right there. The cool thing about this is just the way that you have a very clear definition of kitchen and living room, but like it's also still open. It's a really cool concept. Now, as they've pretty much always done at Grand Design, there's no heat vents, there's no floor vents. They are opposing carpetless slides. So, like, if you're standing in front of the refrigerator or something like that, there's no toe stubber that you'd have to worry about on this one. Something else I want to point out is the capacity for a triple air conditioner system here. When we get to walking around the outside of the RV, you might be able to notice that. But this RV has basically, they cranked pretty much all of the AC capacity they could. And your woodwork in here, it's all a pocket screwed lumber core, which is really like, that's the same kind of cabinet you can find in a lot of RVs, but it's not stapled particle board. And I don't really know of anybody making a fifth wheel at this level and this price point that is, but I just kind of want you to know what you're looking at here. I do like how they framed out these windows. They're all wood framed. It just gives it a nice clean look to me. And you do have the blackout shades if you are so inclined. Now, if you're ever like at an RV dealership, sometimes when you walk around, you'll hear these things constantly tinking against the windows. When the auto leveling system is down and it locks this RV's movement, you just don't tend to run into that. Now, if I slide over here into the, I believe, power theater seat, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry if the camera got wonky. It was a further step down than I was expecting. It's one of the other things I like about this is it's still a very social seating arrangement. And I did the world's worst job of setting up that sofa. It looks all goofy and wonky. You do have to kind of wrestle with parts of that chunk of the sofa right there, the theater portion that faces directly toward the entertainment center, due to the fact that when you close the slides, if you don't, it'll basically pinch and crush stuff. So it's got this big, huge, wide open living room. What's great is although the kitchen doesn't have a massive footprint on the floor plan, the kitchen doesn't suck. The kitchen doesn't have a ton of walkable space. It doesn't need it because the kitchen wraps all the way around the person that's doing the work back there. Now, theoretically, if you're over by the sink and somebody comes over by the fridge or whatever, could somebody kind of block off the kitchen? Yeah, but that's actually something that when I camped with my mother, she would have preferred a situation like this because basically she could say, all right, I'm in the kitchen. All you dirty mongrels, stay out. Get out and leave me alone so that I can feed you. And we knew that meant don't push mom's buttons. And it's probably no surprise to you. Pushing buttons is something I do very, very well. I'm actually quite the accomplished and speedy typist. So I push a lot of buttons. That's not my best joke. I'll work that out on my own time. I think, though, it is about high time that we start cracking open all the storage and the sleeper sofas and all the extra details here. The trick with this is I've got that ceiling light fixture hanging down above the kitchen, which provides plenty of light, which I really, really like, but it makes my video work a little bit tricky, making sure I can showcase everything here for you. Now, above that big giant microwave, you've actually got like a drop-down little spice rack, which is cool. And this, I think, is really smart. Now, remember I said you can kind of, if you want to block off the kitchen and keep people out, you could almost just pull out the trash cans to create like a divider, like everybody get out. But the fact is, we've also got awesome dedicated trash space, and you can walk right in the door. Ooh, I didn't mean to close it that hard. You didn't see that. Don't tell Grand Design anything about that. You get the idea. Big oven on this too. Big 4-burner stovetop and quadruple drawers down to the floors right there to really maximize that total storage capacity. But then we come over here where we have the, I think it's 20 cubic foot 12-volt compressor fridge right here. So especially a fridge that's mounted in a slide out like this, because slides cannot be insulated to the same degree as the main body cabin of the RV. Active compressor fridge makes all the difference on whether you can keep your stuff cool in there, like whether you have ice cream or ice cream soup. And how about those drawers that slide open so you don't have to reach all the way over the countertop to get to everything? Now, this is kind of tricky to display, so pardon me if this isn't amazing, but you do have one of these chest style freezers with like the double layer shelf action going on below it. And then just because they had an extra pocket, they included the little, puppy feeder down here. And I apologize if this camera work's not amazing. First of all, I'm not a professional camera person. I'm just an experienced idiot. Secondly, it's fairly tight quarters, and I don't like to use fisheye wide-angle camera lensing. Now, you've got triple drawers right here that, again, I'm having a hard time really effectively displaying on camera. Ooh, I love watching that soft close stuff work. It's just like super, super satisfying. Now, under the sink and all the way to the edge of, well, basically all the way under the sink, you have wide open storage. It's a little tricky to access, but you have wide open storage. And as far as I really know, in the towable world, Grand Design was one of the first to adopt these like multi-function smart sinks with all the little removable PC pieces. But it seems like everybody and their brother has some version of it now, although there's also plenty of brands that have the dollar cheaper version where it's effectively just the cup sprayer over a traditional farm sink. They're like, well, we got a smart sink too. I'm like, well, it's not the same, but okay. The storage overhead, because there's 5 doors, and this is a wide body rig, so this is more living space, more storage, more everything, and it's full profile. You might notice how the roof line doesn't taper down back here in the living room. That created a ton of storage capacity up there. Again, that is a powered televator. You can push the button and the TV can go away. It'll hide down behind that electric space heat and Tootsie Toaster. This is very interesting over here. There's this extra little, almost like charger pocket, essentially. You could, what would you put in here? What would you use for this? But look at the little thoughtful detail, putting the little non-slip pad down there. They don't do that in all the drawers, which are all a nicely finished plywood, by the way. They do it over there, though, which I think is kind of cool. Working our way up and around, the overhead storage continues all the way through the kitchen and sofa slide. And as a result, creates a lot of storage capacity. Notice where that entertainment unit is located, though. That's a very, very easy thing to miss. Now, I'm going to, again, slide back in this theater seat right here and try to do a better job of it this time. So the chair closest to us and the one just past it, those are both theater recliners. I guess you'd call it the sofa bench or something across the back wall. It's basically just that. It mostly just sits there. However, if you need it to be a sleeper, I personally argue that it could be, although not an ideal one, because the cushions are really tuned for sitting on. They kind of taper down in the back. That's not just a visual optical delusion or anything that you're looking at right there. But I think if you absolutely had to, you could pull those back cushions off and somebody could lay down across that thing. And I was a little bit curious, is it like if that was like storage or anything, but doesn't look like it is. It looks like that's just all that really is right there. So, hey, there you go. We both learned something today. I will also offer you a quick cautionary tale. Some of these cabinet doors can be, they swing open in front of the slide fascia. And if you're not paying attention and you close these hydraulic slides, you're going to smash stuff. So just be kind of aware. This middle room pleasantly surprised me. I like what they did here. Again, carpetless floor flush slide. So they're treating this system, just like everything. Effectively, what you have here is your lower deck slides have that hydraulic function, which moves very, very quickly. And your upper deck slide is electric. And we'll get up there in just a minute. Now, both in the kitchen and up here, you've got that big XL vent fan. So that can really move a lot of air around very quickly. And you might notice you do have, heating ducts. You do have central air ducts. So this is a fully climate controlled room. And I want to point that out because I've seen manufacturers fail to account for little things like that before. It's actually kind of surprising how many oversights that you catch in the industry. And again, because we have no loft, it creates more headroom between the lower sofa bed and this bunk right here. The trick is, this is a little bit high, I think, to reasonably expect kids to be able, depending on their size, to be able to climb up here. What is nice, though, it's got a double catch, and that's what I call a move bunk. Get out the way. And I didn't choose the RV life. The RV life chose me. So there you have it. The other thing is, nothing says you have to use that bunk. So if you don't want to use the move bunk, get out the way, you can leave it up out the way and have the option to fold open this little sleeper sofa down here, which is roughly on the scale of what the industry would call a short queen. One of the other pleasant surprises to this one is that it actually has this dedicated little kind of slide open desktop thing. Now, I appreciate the fact that they saw an opportunity, they went for it. And I'm not saying it's without any benefit that you've got the cool little flip up like pencil holder storage place. But depending on what you're doing with it, you may need to take everything off of that top before you flip it forward, because if you accidentally slide some papers, in that little slot back there, basically, good luck getting to them. But whether you, this is one of the chairs from the dining table, by the way. I pulled it over here just for quick reference purposes. Whether you use the desk function or not, you have a very nice entertainment center built right in here. They one of the things with middle bunk bonus rooms is they also typically suffer from a painful lack of storage. And I'm not sure that applies here near to the extent that I've seen from some other things. Now, I'm actually really glad I took the time to open this up. And if you appreciate how we share all these extra details, maybe click a little like button on the video. But I noticed the hanging racks can actually slide open to you. And if you're going to use them for hanging storage space, those are easily removed shelves. Now, the middle section is just fixed, shelving storage. You've got the hanging cabinets to the right. And I understand that we are face first inside that storage there. I don't like to use the fisheye wide angle lenses anytime I can possibly avoid it, but sometimes that means things look a little bit wonky. Cool thing is down here, though, we've got a sextuplet drawer storage situation going on. There is a lot of personal storage in. And I mentioned this earlier. These are nicely finished, plywood boxes. They're not like the organic splinter factories you find in a lot of things. Moving on from there up into the upper deck, they have this interesting space where between, basically behind part of the bathroom shower storage, they had just a dead pocket in the wall, and they realized they could open that up and basically create like a coat closet in the wall. And I think very intelligently also put their converter box and their fuse box here so that accessing fuses is a very simple proposition in this RV. It's nothing that's going to be difficult whatsoever. Now, pardon me as I get these out of the way real quick. The trick with this upper deck is that it has a bedroom bathroom shared combo slide. And I never know how to go about showing this in an effective, logical fashion. Something always feels weird and wonky and disjointed. So quick little peek at the bedroom, and then let's jump over into the bathroom here real quick as we're greeted by our friendly octopodes. I think there's like octopodes, octopi, octopuses, and I think they're all potentially grammatically correct. Now, they do a really interesting thing here because this, you're getting a look at me. Hi. This is all in a slide out right here. And if I open this all up, you see some very interesting kind of storage space going on down here. But also down below the sink, there's this weird drawer. It's got some power outlets. It's got a couple silver little cup holder looking things in it. Basically, you got a spot for a blow dryer kind of built right into it that, you don't got to worry about accidentally burning down your camper because, burning down the house. That makes a good song, but it doesn't make for a good memory, is, I guess, the best way I want to say it. Now, something that absolutely shocks me on this, and I don't mean that in a positive fashion, is that in the kitchen and in the bunk room, you get the big XL vent fan. I'm very surprised to find the small fan up here in this bathroom in this level of fifth wheel, given all the really sleek amenities and thoughtful details that it's had so far. That just kind of surprised me. Anyway, it is what it is. I'm not going to beat it up too much. It's just that now and even if it's not pretty, I'm still going to represent it as fairly as I can. The space around the toilet is great. I'm obviously staring straight down on the toilet over on the left, but on the right, you can see I got plenty of room to look around. Now, when we look over here, they truly made the shower floor flush with the main floor, and you can see it's all fiberglass, one piece molded. You've got the fold down seat if need be, and this is a nice large shower right here. You got the belly blaster kind of water shower head. What I like about this is, first of all, take a look at the right side of the screen and you can see the headroom that I have above me up there. It is really, really nice to have plenty of headroom like that and to actually be able to put my head under the shower sprayer. Like a person like me very often has to, I have to duck under showers. You know, it's just not my favorite thing. And not having to do that is very, very nice, actually. Now, you've also got, remember I was telling you where you have that hallway closet. You may have noticed over here on the right side of the screen how that's where you also have, part of that is used for bathroom storage. You also got to see one of my favorite little Instagram filters on my nerdy little face right there. I look like the kind of guy that shouldn't be within 300 feet of a Chuck E. Cheese when that filter is on me. All right, moving on from there. So all the TVs that you're looking at, by the way, are standard. They're not just out here for display. So the bedroom smart TV, the bunk room, middle room, the living room, they're all standard. And they're all TCL Roku smart TVs. And I really like how they downward dog angled this one. So when you're laying in bed, it's not quite a neck crank. That's just again, a thoughtful little detail that they put into here. Now, as I work my way around, ooh, hold on. If I see something, I say something. That's my general policy. I've noticed this floor plan does have a single floor heat vent down here, and that's very, very uncommon in any Grand Design fifth wheel. But there are certain instances where they didn't have a wall or something they could try to fish a heat vent through, and they had to do what they had to do, and that's how they had to do it effectively. They also did it by utilizing every inch of the nose cap possible. You might notice how, that shelving, almost like built-ins, is just wrapping all up in that nose cap. They use every little nook and cranny of that they can to really maximize the storage space. Now, you have, I think you're going to find almost every Solitude with the RV king bed over here. I think you can technically put a queen in one of these if you're so inclined. But because this floor plan has basically an upper deck super slide that starts up here in the bedroom and goes all the way through back to the sink in the bathroom. That's all one slide with like a central partition in it. They had room over here to create a very rare find in the fifth wheel world. When you get a bed slide fifth wheel, most of the time, you don't get a very nice side stand. And now that I'm looking at this, part of me wishes they would have made that a little more narrow and they would have made it symmetrical. I think it would have been really, really cool if they could have put one on either side of the bed. That might have meant that they had to get rid of the window over here, which wouldn't be awesome. But I mean, I think the symmetry would be a greater gain. By the way, this is a folding shelf. Can I do this one-handed? And no, the other side's still locked in place. Okay. But if you just want, you can use it like a little knick-knack shelf, or you can fold it down if you don't want to accidentally bonk your head on it. So they give you a lot of very cool, very interesting options and offerings up in this bedroom. It's a very uncommon bedroom arrangement. And since we have a side stand, we got a couple little bonus drawers there. Now, the bed actually has like 3 different chunks of storage in it here. Oh, I noticed. Even under the bed, the base of the bed slide is still carpetless. That's kind of a nice touch. A lot of brands will still put a little carpet where they can just to try to save a couple bucks here and there. And they didn't do that on this. I love it when the dresser's drawers come to you so you don't always have to lift the bed. But something else I noticed, I just spotted this little pull tab right here. We've got just a little extra, just a knick-knack kind of thing, a little knick-knack, kind of paddywhack sort of job. But did you notice the funky little swing out, wing out kind of stand next to the other side of the bed? Well, what you can do is those can actually wing out. And if you want a stand to like set a phone or potentially a CPAP machine or something, you can have that right up next to you. The other thing is that puts that stand right next to some power outlets. And if I get the bed out of the way, you'll actually be able to see them. Look between the mirrored closet door and the slide fascia, and you can see some household and some USB plugs in easy reach of those little wing out stands. So just, again, a nice, thoughtful little detail that they applied to this. Now, most people are going to use this as hanging closet space, but in theory, you could use that for either combo or stackable washer dryer units if you want to get one installed. That's all stuff that we can, of course, do for you. And I prefer it when they do what they did here. This is the, I think, the better way to go. If you're going to, like, some brands will include the little bonus storage slot at the top of the dresser. I like it when that storage slides open, because you can do exactly what I just displayed. You can leave all the stuff on top of the dresser. You don't have to take any of that off. And you have 6 more dresser drawers in here, just like you saw in the bunk room. You have all that same storage capacity going on up here in the bedroom. Actually, I think those are bigger drawers. Now, taking a look at road mode, the bedroom's readily accessible, but this is a Schwintek bed slide. Our upper deck slide here is a Schwintek slide. Our lower deck slides are all rack and pinion. So none of these slides should really be occupied while they're anything but fully extended. So kind of keep that in mind. And this bathroom arrangement's a little interesting, but you do still maintain toilet access in here. And, well, not just access, but function as well, while the slides are closed. What I'm not sure about, what I can't remember, is when we get downstairs, what's the refrigerator look like? Okay. You got to kind of weave your way in here. But I mean, I can walk right up to this fridge. I can get, oops. Okay. Hey, we learned to be a little more careful when opening that side of the refrigerator. And I'm half afraid to open this side now because I might cold cock myself. Now, one last note. When you close these slides, you have to wrestle one of those theater recliner things. I ain't gonna lie. They're heavy. If someone's got a bad back, I don't think you should be doing that. So you're going to want to kind of plan according there a little bit. And if you appreciate how we shoot you straight and show you this stuff, hit that subscribe button and let's go outside. So this thing is a boss hoss. And as you take another look at the weights and measures over there on the left side of the screen, you don't have to look real awful long and hard to see that that is absolutely an accurate description of this thing. A gross vehicle weight of 18,000 pounds means we're basically, folks, we're just solidly in dually country. I just don't think that anything less than like a good diesel dually is really well suited to be able to handle something this size. You know, we're very long, we're quite heavy. We have a wide body design, also putting some challenges into the towing equation. But thankfully, kind of helping us along the way there, this has things like some really nice tires and factory standard with both electronic anti-sway and anti-lock braking to give you a little better control and peace of mind, especially in those like really scary, like, oh my God, hit the brakes, we're gonna die kind of moments. The kind of time where you don't have to think about 18,000 pounds of death machine pushing you into something. You won't have to think about 18,000 pounds of death machine pushing you into something. Now, this is what the front compartment's gonna look like by default. You can get this built with generator prep. You can get a generator on it if you are so inclined. And look at the location of the landing gear legs. This is, it's on a wide body chassis and it's a 6-point hydraulic auto leveling. And the idea is by having those jack legs, outside of the frame rails, it just provides maximum stability when you get to your campsite, which, depending on how many people you have romping around in here, could be very, very handy and very useful. Now, let's talk frame and chassis, because that's been a very significant talking point relating to Grand Design, over the last year or so. They have absolutely done what they could to really step up wherever possible, I think. They still have their, 1-year RV warranty with 3-year structural, but they also have added a 5-year frame warranty into their mix. They also made that all retroactive. And even transferring to, like, applying to second-time owners. So there were some people, when they made that change, that actually gained warranty coverage that were technically out of warranty for a period. Oh my God, I just kind of became aware that's a massive, massive basement cavity. Look at the size of that. Now, what's interesting, you may have noticed they didn't go with a camp kitchen over here. They didn't force anything like that onto you. They kind of let you do a camp kitchen if you want to, and they really just maximize the storage. Now, if you look below, like you see there's that runner light at the very right-hand side of the runner light. That's where your gas grill quick connect is located for the griddling and the chitlin and all that kind of stuff. But the you don't have a factory standard fridge or griddle or anything out here. Those are things that you could definitely apply if you want. You could also instead choose to use the space as outdoor entertainment. Essentially, they've kind of left it a somewhat blank canvas where storage is never the wrong answer. Some people want a camp kitchen. You could do it. Some people want a outdoor entertainment. You could do it. What's interesting is it almost looks like at one point they were considering putting like a cooktop or griddle, or maybe they had one and got rid of it, because you see the silver backside to that door. That's actually a heat retardant baggage door right there. So apparently there either was something there or they were considering it at some point, and they made some accommodations accordingly. Anti-slam entry door is nice, but it also still has a magnet holdback, so it won't go dangling in the breeze. The quad step there, that is the zero gravity variety, where it's kind of the easy lift and lower, which is nice. But down here, along with the ABS and the anti-sway braking package, we also have those Cooper H-rated tires right there, and a upgraded suspension package, because this is a big sucker. And, if you do plan on towing it around and not just leaving it parked seasonally, you're going to want that extra comfort and peace of mind, or else this thing is just going to jackhammer you around your vehicle. Kind of like we mentioned on the inside of the RV, the window coverage on this, your campsite viewing, is just phenomenal. It's being able to see around this thing is terrific. Now, the ladder over there is 300-pound rated. That's they're only required to make it 250-pound rated. So they had to add some extra structural reinforcement. Now, if you were up on the roof, by default, what you would see in a Solitude is a single 330-watt solar panel, and these are going to be inverter prepped. You can also get the Solar Plus package. You can get the Solar Plus package so you can soak up more of that sunshine, sugar. And what that'll do is add a second panel. It'll be 660 watts total, but also include a 2,000-watt inverter. Now, if you want to go much beyond that, if you want to get into like mega solar, it depends. What are you trying to do with it? Like, if you're trying to run air conditioners and stuff, it's vastly more affordable to just get a generator, and it can provide full function of the RV and do it a heck of a lot longer than what a solar package would really hope to do. Now, if you want to coat the thing with a solar roof, it can be done, not from the factory. Like, we could assist you with that. You could DIY that. But man alive, it is going to cost an arm and a leg, and you're still beholden to the natural elements. You never really know what you're going to be able to do with it. Now, I tell you what, since there's nothing parked beside me over here, I'm going to back way up and give you just a full-on broadside shot of this sucker, because it is big. I do like how they put windows everywhere, though. They really did. So, I'm glad I backed up. Something that I noticed, this is a single sewer outlet kind of RV. That being said, the outlet itself is basically buried back here, kind of under the middle slide. The thing is, I don't know that it's a problem, because like when you get to your campsite, especially if you have on-site sewer, which is the only time this would really matter, you don't have to crawl under the slide to open that up. Your gate valves and all your pull valves and everything are actually located over here behind this baggage door. Let me get this out of the way a little bit. You do have a, like you'd expect on a big fifth wheel, fully enclosed docking center. One little caution. I was just going to say, if you're not careful though, this door could swing open and it could lay across the furnace and the water heater exhaust, but they thought of that. There's a catch. It won't let it do that, so you don't end up melting a hole in this stupid thing. Brilliant. I'm glad they did that. That's really smart, good content. If you look at the very top of this pass-through compartment, there's actually a powered cord reel for that big, heavy, hefty 50 amp length of copper that you'd have to lug around with this thing. Now, you do have to at least get the cable started, your power cord started on that reel, but then you just push a button as long as you got 12-volt power, which is going to be very hard to exhaust on a rig like this. You're going to be able to, fully recoil that 50 amp cord without having to necessarily lug that whole sucker around, because I tell you, those things, they can get you short of breath. It can be a workout awful fast, and anything that makes it easier to not eat up half of your front pass-through storage with a giant 50 amp cord, that's okay in my book. So what do you think, everybody? Like I said, it is big. It's heavy. It's expensive, certainly. Yeah. And to help you with that, to help you know exactly how big and heavy and expensive, I'm going to leave you a link to our website where you can double check MSRP and availability. We don't sell for MSRP, but in the case of Grand Design, we cannot publish our discounted sale pricing most of the time. If we can, we will. I will also dig you up some links to some other middle bunk bonus rooms, but about one of the only ones that I think really stands tall side by side with this would be like a North Point 377, which is almost like a lot of people consider it the definitive mid bunk out there on the market. But there's some that are a little bit smaller, lighter, easier to tow around. Alliance has some weird variations on the concept that I think are also pretty fun. It's just a matter of which one works best for you. So check those links, take a look, and if you had a chance, let me know which one you'd go with and why. And short of that, take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.